Neem Karoli Baba possessed such control over human perception that he could erase himself from the sight of those standing directly in front of him. He was a figure of immense spiritual stature, followed by massive, relentless crowds that constantly flooded his ashrams in hopes of a single moment of contact. This illustrates the core concept of darshan. Direct visual contact with a holy figure facilitates an active transfer of grace. But physical proximity does not guarantee this blessing. Standing in the same room is only half the requirement. Ultimately, darshan is a privilege granted by the master at their discretion rather than a right that can be claimed by a visitor. One afternoon, a group of 50 to 60 elite Congress politicians marched toward the Hanuman temple, specifically to secure his darshan. These men represented the pinnacle of state power, arriving with the expectation that their worldly status guaranteed them an audience with the saint. Spotting them from a distance, Baba abruptly stood up and abandoned the temple, heading down the rugged hillside without saying a word to the crowd. He took only 2 people with him, a traditional Indian sadhu and a devotee named Ramdas. When the politicians arrived at the empty temple, they were told the master had just left and were pointed toward the very path Baba had taken down the hill. The group began a descent through the hills, trailing the mystic they were determined to find. Baba and his companion stopped at the lower Devi temple, sitting entirely exposed on a forward-facing platform. This schematic shows the exact layout. When the politicians arrived, they halted a mere 6 feet from where Baba sat. Despite looking directly at the platform, they saw nothing. Baba and his companions remained entirely invisible to the group. The politicians began discussing Baba's whereabouts amongst themselves, wondering where he had gone while staring directly at the spot where he sat. By overriding the visual perception of 50 people at once, Baba had effectively removed himself from their shared reality. The tension peaked when Ramdas, who regularly consumed charas, felt a violent coughing fit rising in his chest. He desperately tried to suppress it, terrified that the sound would give away their position and break the master's silence. Baba turned to him and told him not to hold back, instructing him to cough as loudly as he needed. Ramdas let out a series of violent hacking coughs that echoed through the quiet space of the temple. Even with the noise echoing only 6 feet away, the politicians registered absolute silence. The veil was absolute. Despite the proximity, the group registered no sound and no movement, leaving them wandering through a space where Baba was physically present but perceptually absent. Baffled and unable to find any trace of the master, the politicians eventually gave up and left the area. As soon as the group was out of sight, the veil dropped, and Baba and his companions instantly became visible and audible again. This encounter raises a question about why the saint used such power to hide from the elite, while remaining fully present for an ordinary devotee like Ramdas. This matrix charts proximity versus spiritual access. Politicians achieved high proximity, but zero access. Ramdas experienced both. In this domain, political influence hits a hard ceiling. While politicians searched empty air, the devotee remained in the master's presence. A spiritual master exercises the sovereign right to dictate the terms of their own presence, choosing exactly who is permitted to witness them.